Hi folks, these have been the recent project. I've been working on the Perry Miniatures 95th Rifles. Really nice sculpts. Not sure with what intention really. I've had a look at some adaptations to the Men Who Would Be Kings rules for Napoleonics, and they look promising. I think they've got them in the rifles at least in a unit of 10, and then you've got line infantry or light infantry in a unit of 12 models. I think it would ask for singly based models like these ones, so rather than have blocks of 4 models multi-based or more, you know, in Napoleonics. It's not a big battle game, it would be more like sharp practice. Or I think there's another one, Chosen Men. Yeah, that's another one. I do actually have the rules for that as well. But since I'm familiar with the Men Who Would Be Kings, I just thought I'd use that as a jumping off point. Anyway, without further ado, I think I'll show you one or two of these. Got some cards or paper to show them up better. So these are only a day's work to paint these up, this batch. I'll let you know about the paints in a second now. The basis of it was Caliban Green by Citadel. That was the green jackets, which I did have a little bit of a think how I wanted those to turn out. And that's been darkened down with a dark tone wash from Army Painter. I'll try to show you the best example probably is this fella. I haven't actually finished the officer yet. There are a few things yet to do. But I'm going to give him grey trousers rather than green, but initially I was going to give him green trousers. But if you can see the highlights that I've done up the top there, that's actually Russian green being introduced into the colour, you know, Vallejo's Russian green. I've gone a bit heavy-handed with the highlights. I'll show you some of the better ones perhaps. I think it's knowing where to place the highlights. I had a rough idea, but then I go a bit excessive. Sorry folks. So I'm fairly happy with him now, so I try and aim for where the light's hitting, so top of creases and elbows and knee areas, I suppose. You don't want to. I wanted to keep the original colour. The bread bag is German Camel Beige. The canteen is Field Blue. I layer painted the flesh and the muskets. They need some highlights on the musket barrels and the leather areas. I'm going to leave a gloss varnish on the black leather so that has a bit of a leather, sort of polished leather sheen to it. So I saw someone do that a while back on his 95th Rifles and they look superb. I'm going to pencil in 95th onto their rucksack in, well, you know, with a fine brush and some white paint, just because I have to. Test the freehanding out, and I think it'll add a little bit to them. And he has, you're noticing up close there, he's got a little crevice where his uniform hasn't been painted. I'll have to go back to him. Yeah, there's a few areas I haven't done, but I've done the blankets, most of the equipment. They've got sort of black frogging, I think it is, and they've got black leather areas. The bread bag and that strap is German Camo Beige, but then you've got the canteen's strap, which is leather brown, and then but most of the leather work is black, and they'll be highlighting that up with black grey from Vallejo. And I've actually got 2 trumpeters in this pack, so I might sell one of those on. They're identical figures, and I don't need 2 of them in such a small unit. They're really nice poses, so I don't know if this is the nature of the pack, but I've actually had, they're almost, there's a lot of identical poses, so we've got almost like a firing line there, the trumpeter, and I have a second one of those. 2 running poses in the back there, which are quite nice. So, him now, am I going too heavy-handed with the... I know that I haven't done their hair either yet. I don't actually like showing figures when they're not done, but I thought I'd give you a little progress update. Not sure if I'm being a little heavy-handed with the highlights. On the flesh, I'm going to have a few, well, just a touch of Vallejo light flesh into Cadian flesh tone to do the nose, back of knuckles and things like that. And as I said, I've got to do the hair colour. The blanket rolls I've tried to mix up, so I've got 3 colours in the blanket rolls. I've gone Vallejo neutral grey. I tried light grey, but it's too light for that grey blanket roll. So I went back down to a neutral grey. This is more of a sort of brown concoction with a little bit of lighter colour in there as well. I couldn't tell you. Sorry, that's not focusing. And the last one is actually a German camo beige. I'm not sure if it's an accurate blanket colour, but it's something a little bit different. The bread bag, canteen and blankets all received brown wash. My homemade brown wash. But the rest will be layer painted. The leather, black leather areas will be layer painted with black grey. And that's how I've done the flesh and the green. Yeah, so that was Caliban green, dark tone to stain the uniforms, and then I've gone back up with Caliban green and then back up again with Vallejo Russian green, Russian uniform green, and I've introduced that colour into the original Caliban green, so that's how I've tried to do the highlights. I think that's worked out. What I really like about these is how quickly they were to get them to this stage. How many is that? 13 of them. That was one day of painting. I think I did a little stint this morning doing a couple of extra bits, but they're coming along very quickly, and they're very nice metals. They're the old Perry metals that were sold by Foundry. Really nice guys, and I'll definitely show you these when they're finished. The bases I'm going to do a sort of Spanish, they're for the Peninsular War, so I'm going to do them in a sort of Spanish light earth, so I'm going to do my usual basing triad, but be quite heavy-handed with the dry brushing so that it comes out nice and light. I might even add some dry grass tufts rather than the sort of luscious green ones that I use normally for the European theatre. So yeah, that's it folks. I had my first game of the campaign that we've started for Saga down the club, and I tried the Britons for that. But I think next time I'm going to try the actual Welsh board. I've got a set of Welsh dice, so I would like to start doing the Welsh for those. The campaign is really good. Matt's made a big effort making this sort of elaborate campaign table with nodes for the different nations so you can attack other countries. So yeah, I've got Wales, Cornwall and areas of southern Scotland, I think it is. Just because there's not a faction occupying that one for now. But yeah, it's good. A bit of back and forth, couple of bloody clashes. Saga 2 is really good. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. Probably paint up some more Saga figures in the future. I've ordered some more. Lee Hughes and I have ordered some command packs for the Welsh from the Miniature Company. I hadn't actually heard of them before. But that's going to be the painting probably in 2 weeks. Well, they'll have arrived then, and I've cleaned them up, primed them, and we'll see how they come along. Okay, that's it for now folks. Just wanted to give you a quick update. I hope you're all keeping well, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.